Hey, how's it going? Attempting to do the first oil change on the Cherokee today. This will be the first one that I do. Had the plane about a year now. Last oil change was done during annual this past December, and got the oil analysis back. And there was a little bit of an upward trend in the cylinder metals in that one. So I'm going to do this oil change a little bit earlier, at about 32 hours right now, instead of 40 to 50 hours like I would normally do it. But gonna get that done today. Hopefully it goes smoothly. I was gonna do an engine run, maybe go fly around a little bit to get the engine up to operating temperature, make the oil flow a little bit easier. But I was looking through the website, and actually Blackstone recommends that you don't do that because it could introduce fuel into the oil sample. So I'll be draining it cold. It's gonna take a little bit longer, but at least that way we don't have the possibility of introducing fuel into the sample before we send it off. So I'll start getting the cowl off and seeing how it goes. But thought I'd record it, make a video on it, just to one, have a little bit of record of it for myself, just to see how everything goes, to maybe learn from it and for next time. But I don't know, maybe it'll help someone else too. So all right, let me get this cowl off. All right, so got the cowl off, get a little bit closer look here now what we'll be dealing with. I'll be taking this filter off. You can see it's safety wired right there, and it goes to the end here. And it's supposed to be positioned so that if it does start to come loose, it puts more tension on the safety wire. So you can see that there's several different tabs. Let me get it to focus. Different holes that you can connect it on the filter. It was connected to this far one here, so if it does loosen, it's going to go counterclockwise, and that's going to put more tension on the safety wire to prevent it from actually loosening up and coming out. So I'll have to do that as well. And then the oil will be coming out of, didn't get it. You can see that blue, it's a quick drain right there, and I believe you just push up, and by pushing up, that opens it up the valve and lets the oil come out. I think there might be a special adapter that you can hook onto a hose to get that out. I don't have that. I just have like a normal plastic or rubber tube that I'll run through the bottom where the exhaust comes out the bottom of the nose and into my oil pan here. But so what I've done is I've just gotten this rubber hose, and it's actually, you can probably see it's a bit too big, but I think this could, I put some cuts in here, and I can actually fit this around the entire valve, not just the little nipple that's poking out. So hopefully it works. We'll see. If not, I don't know, I might have to get creative on how to get it out, or go find some smaller tubing that'll work. But all right, I'll try and start getting this oil out really quick. All right, so I'm gonna feed this up through the bottom here. One end will have to go in there. And I'm gonna have to have my sample cup ready. This is what the oil sample will go in to send to Blackstone. So you want to try and get it, like they say, halfway through the stream of oil. You don't want to get the very first part to come out, because you might get some debris or other contaminants that are on the drain valve itself. And then you don't want to wait too long, because you might run out. And they need to have, I think they said 3 ounces, so which is almost this whole cup. All right, I think I got it. I ended up just putting like a small funnel at the end of it, that hose, and there's the funnel. Opened up that valve, that blue valve right there, and it's slowly draining. I got the hose running down to the nose wheel slot, and then it's coming down into here. So I'll try to get, I'm gonna open up this, get some pressure in there to relieve it so it can drain a little bit better. All right, so there's the full sample. Cap that off. So I'll just let this continue to drain. It's probably going to take a while because it is cold. Again, they recommended you don't run the engine beforehand. But I'll start working on the filter, get that off, and allow the rest of this to drain out. All right, let me get this oil filter off. A few different things that I'm going to try using to this, because I guess when you take this off, oil can spill out. It can make a big mess all over your engine. So these were recommended to me, these oil filter bibs. I think I just got them on Amazon. They're just a few bucks, it wasn't too much. But it goes around the filter and hopefully catches all that oil that comes out of there. I also have this Tempest, I forget what it's called, but it's the oil wrench to help you get that filter off. You just put your socket wrench on the end of it and it helps. And it's a tight space, helps to get that off. And I'm just gonna drop it in this little tray here once I get it all off. So first I gotta cut the safety wire that's on there. So the safety wire again attaches right here at the top and then into one of these holes down there. So you just gotta find a spot to snip it. There we go. Make sure it stays on there. That's loose. Get this bib on here. I've seen other people use like Ziploc bags or grocery bags to try and catch this. This is supposedly made specifically for it, so I don't know, hopefully it's a little better. I'm trying to avoid making a big mess if you can. Gotta snug it up and as best you can. Have a rag just in case. I can already see it, I'm making a mess. Well, I don't know how much this worked, but oh, there is quite a bit in there. Maybe it did work. But still got a lot that ended up dripping down. I'll try and clean this up as best I can. But it continues to leak out, so just try and wedge that towel in there and catch whatever still is coming out. I don't know, there's probably better ways to do it, or maybe it's just because first time and I don't really have that much experience with it, so. All right, so I got the oil filter off. Still draining a little bit there, but not too much. There was a little bit of oil that, I used that bib, but it caught most of it, but some of it snuck by and it got down onto the nose wheel strut there, and it dripped on down onto the wheel pant, which I already cleaned that up, but it was a little bit of oil that got out of the bib. This is still draining into my oil can there. Find it. Coming out very slowly. It is cold, and it's not like on a car you take that nut off, that bolt out, and it comes out pretty quickly. This is much smaller, so it comes out a lot slower, so it's just going to take a while. But we have the new oil filter that I'll be putting on there. There's the old one. So when you do take it off, there is quite a bit of oil that still remains in there, so you want to have something to catch all that. So I just use this little tray, put that in there. I'm gonna get that cleaned up a little bit, cut it open, take the filter media out, and inspect that, make sure there's no metal in there. I got a magnet that I can use to help me do that. So I do that, let this continue to drain all the way out, and then got new oil. This is what I use. I know everyone's got their preferences, but this was a factory manufactured engine. There's just a couple hundred hours on it right now, and this is what they used, the previous owner used, so I'm just continuing to use it. And then I also will do the cam guard, put that in there as well. This oil that I'm using, it does have some of these, or some protection in it, but it's different than what the cam guard uses from what I understand. So the cam guard is just extra protection on top of what this already has. So continue to let this drain. I'll get the oil filter cut open and inspect that next. All right, so next I gotta cut open this filter, get the paper media that's out of there, inspect that for any metal debris. And I got this Tempest oil filter cutter. They're kind of pricey. I think you can get them on Amazon cheaper, like a generic brand, but you have to modify it. This one, this oil filter has this male end that protrudes from the filter itself. The ones that you buy on Amazon have this, the male part on here, and then the filter is the female part. But this one you can actually just remove this pin, take this out, and now this will fit right on it. If you get the one on Amazon, you gotta drill a hole through this yourself to make it fit. So put this on, you just put it on there, screw this on until the blade comes into contact with the metal part of the filter, and then you just kind of go around and tighten it as you go. All right, so I got this vise that I'm going to use to hold the filter, and it's not attached to the cabin or anything, but we'll make it work. So put this cutter on, you tighten it down, and then you just kind of go around it, and it should start to cut in. And then every pass you make, you just tighten it up a little bit more. And slowly you're gonna start cutting into the metal. Okay. Okay, and here's the, I need this. It's kind of sharp, so just be careful with it. There's the inside of the filter. So you'll see there's this metal bar that kind of goes across there. You're gonna need a utility knife or box cutter to cut along the edges all the way down, all the way around. Of course, this is slippery, so make sure you don't slip and cut yourself. We go all the way to that metal bar again, and then do the same thing on the other side. So I cut on this side, and I'm gonna cut this side over here. All right, so then once it's cut all the way through, you're just gonna pinch it, try to pull it out of there. See, it's just coming all the way out here. Okay, there's that metal bar I was talking about. Okay, so now you've got this all out. It's like an accordion. You can kind of just visually inspect it. Make sure you don't see anything. And some of the stuff can be pretty hard to see by with the naked eye. So I'm gonna put it in a jar here, use some gasoline to help clean it out. Any metal should sink to the bottom, and then we can use a magnet to see if it picks anything up. So just quick first glance there, that looks pretty good. Let's check the other side. All right, so I put the paper filter inside these little jars here, and I added some, you can add, just want to put like some solvent or gasoline in there and kind of swish it around a little bit, and that's going to, if there is any metal or debris inside that paper filter, this will clear it out. It'll settle to the bottom, and then you'll use like a magnet or something to see if you pick anything up on the magnet. But we'll just let that sit for a little bit. Hopefully flush that out. If there's anything in there, hopefully there's nothing. But then we'll use that magnet to try and see if we pick anything up. All right, so let's see, this has been soaking here for a little bit now. Go ahead and take it out. Really needed bigger jars than this. These are really kind of too small. Okay, so I'm just visually checking them again. These should be pretty clean now, because if there was anything in there, it's at the bottom of the jar now. Okay, what I'm gonna do is just pour this through this, just a plain paper towel. Actually, first I'll run the magnet through to see if it does pick anything up. just wipe it with this clean paper towel, see what I get off of it. I think it's normal to have a little bit of stuff in there. Just very fine stuff there. Okay. I'll pour the rest through here. Okay, nothing that looks alarming. There might be, you're right, not gonna be able to see it, but I did see like one tiny little speck. I can find it. There might be a few, I don't know. I think I see something shining and then I can't find it again. And I'll do the same for this other one here. Okay, do another visual inspection. Nothing large enough to catch my eye in here. Okay, try the magnet again. The same fine particles in there, which I believe is normal to have that in there. Okay, I'll pour it through here. Okay. See, I think I see, you know, maybe couple tiny pieces of shiny glitter-like pieces in there. Hopefully that's not too concerning. Okay, so that's all complete, all done. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is get the new oil filter on. Oil's still draining, you know, drip by drip, so it's a slow process. All right, so I got the new oil filter, and then you wrote today's date on it, the tack time, aircraft number, and then this is going to be Victory oil with cam guard. And we don't use any lubricant or sealant or anything on this. They said to put it on dry, hand tighten it, and then I'll torque it down to the recommended 16 to 18 foot-pounds. And we'll get it safety wired. Okay, so there's hand tight. I got my torque wrench set to 17 foot-pounds. Okay, there we go. All right, the next step is going to be to safety wire this filter on, which I've heard this could be the most difficult part of the oil change. So I'm going to feed it through that little hole there. Get the two pieces equal in length. Okay, you want it to go to the hole on the filter that will prevent it from turning counterclockwise to loosen. Okay, and you just cut off the excess. And then you can just circle this in so you don't poke yourself next time. Bend it around. Okay, that's all done. All right, I ended up redoing the safety wire. I wasn't really happy with the way that I attached on this end over here, but like I said, it's more of an art than anything. It takes a lot of practice to finally get it right, but I'm pretty happy with it now. So it attaches right here at the top, and then it goes around. Like I mentioned before, there's several different attachment points here on the filter, but I picked one down here at the bottom, right there, so that if it does start to come loose, it's gonna go, it's gonna put more tension on the safety wire and prevent it from actually turning. So that's done. The oil is, I mean, it's a really slow drip. It's pretty much all out now. It's been a couple hours draining. There you go. But I'll let it go for a little bit more. Got the filter back on. I'll add the 6 quarts of oil, the cam guard, and then we should be good for an engine run. Check for leaks, make sure everything's looking good, and we'll be all set. All right, I finally got all the oil drained out of it. The valve is closed, the drain valve is closed. I got the filter on, safety wired. So now just have to add the oil. And when you do this, you want to make sure there's that ring that sometimes gets left on there. Make sure that's not on there because you don't want it to fall down into the oil filler hole. You just screw right on. Just wait for it to all drain out. All right, so I got it all oil in. everything buttoned up. Dipstick is on. Filter is on. Safety wired. The drain is closed. So just start it up, run it up for a little bit, make sure there's no leaks, and then make the logbook entry. It'll be good to go. All right, so I just finished the engine run and everything looked good. Oil pressure came right up, brought it up into the green for the temperature for the oil, and I don't see any leaks at all. I've looked pretty closely. There's nothing underneath and around the filter. That looks clean. The drain valve, where is it? There it is. It's clean, nothing dripping out of there, and no leaks observed. Check the oil again, and we're like 6.5 quarts right now. So looking good. I'll get it all buttoned up, and it's a kind of rainy day today. Not the best weather, so next time we'll do a test flight close to the airport, make sure everything's looking good still. But finish up the logbook entry and be all set.